Jan Oberg, founder of transnational.org, is with us now via Skype from Lund. Ms. Oberg, welcome to the Top 5. Now, do you think that that essential requisite, which is trust, currently exists between Iran and the P5+1, and they are going to recognize what Mr. Rouhani says, that Iran is being transparent and wants its rights to be respected?
Yes, there's no doubt that something must have happened that makes sure that statement come out of the Iranian side. But I would like to perhaps hope for this being the final, rhetorics before some kind of deal is signed. There is no alternative to a deal. But of course, you can say that these negotiations have been standing on their head all the time, because at the bottom of all this is the question of lack of trust in general terms between the West and Iran. And I would say from Iran's point of view, with very good reasons, because the demands made on you and the investigations made on Iran are totally unreasonable, given that other countries are not under the same pressure as you have been with sanctions and negotiations and inspections and all that. And I think the words coming out of the mouth of President Obama are correct in the sense that your side has definitely kept the promises and the commitments from the November agreement. And I wrote at that time that next round of talks, and to have a deal, the U.S. and the West must go the longest distance, because you went the longest distance in November to achieve a long-term agreement. So there's definitely hope, but we don't know what kind of pressures there are among hardliners on both sides.
So you say you believe that it's the Western side which should go the long distance, rather that the ball is in their court. But can you specify for us what exactly that route is that they should take?
No, I mean, you have had these negotiations all the times, and these pressures and threats of bombings for not having nuclear weapons, for not intending to have nuclear weapons, for never having, in modern times or 200 years, to have invaded another country. Now, next to you is Israel and other nuclear powers, nuclear weapon powers, who are not under the same investigation. All this comes because of the lack of trust. And I'm saying now it's time for the West to show that it trusts you, also because of the fundamental political change that has taken place in Iran, which is very hopeful. And there is no way in which you can have a peaceful Middle East without a good relationship with Iran. And Iran, of course, would benefit from it too. And secondly, which has been lost on most people, it has cost has had a horrendous price for Iran to be under sanctions. But it has also cost the United States a lot of billions. An investigation came out, a report came out a few days ago saying that this was about up to $175 billion that the U.S. has had as cost of not trading with you. So this is very unfortunate from all parties' side. So I hope this will be a win-win, as your negotiators are saying and the President is saying.
Yes, you said there, when Obama says that Iran has been committed to its side of the November deal, the main question here that everybody should be asking, basically, and are asking, is why then are we not seeing this comprehensive deal being signed in Vienna? It's like days and days now that the sides have been there, but still they're saying that the gaps are huge, that the differences are still there, but we are hopeful. So what is actually preventing this deal from being signed? Do you think this is more about political pressure rather than, the technical issues?
Oh, yeah, I think so, but I'm really not an expert on the technical issues. I'm a peace researcher and a social scientist, so I would not go into, the number of centrifuge and things like that. I have no insights into that. But I think it is time also for the West to show that it's important for it. And I would say not the least because so many other things are going wrong for the West and for the U.S. at the moment, because the empire is going down, basically, that it would be good for them also to show, and for Obama himself to show, that he now has done something to change fundamentally the absolutely counterproductive relationship between Iran and the West for so long time. And that conflict has been created predominantly by the West with its different policies, its sanctions, its show of force and all that. So I guess, as anywhere else in the negotiations, both parties are trying to get as much as they can to the final end. And that's what they will signal. You can't signal that you have a deal before the end of the negotiations. But on the other hand, it would be totally stupid of the West and the 5Ps plus one not to now get a deal with Iran, because it will be very difficult for the West, for the 5Ps plus one, to explain why this was not possible, given that you have already gone as far as you have with the November agreement last year, and with, as I said, the very promising change of political leadership in your country, as seen from the West. There's no way they can explain not to have a deal, and we should have 30 more years of sanctions and maybe warfare.
Thank you very much, Jan Oberg, founder of transnational.org, with us there live from London.